Hey everybody, welcome to Northernlion plays Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Oh, you should have looked at the stats page. 314Z DE96. DAE96. I apologize, by the way. First off, like, multi-dimensional baby is our Eden's blessing payout from last episode. It's not bad. It's, you know, technically deal with the devil quality. It's not amazing, but it's something. Could be useful. I apologize, by the way, if this message gets you down. Then I CC'd every girl that I'd CC'd around town. Hate to see y'all frown. Okay, I'm not going to sing all of International Players Anthem. That's against my New Year's resolution. Just to gas me right off the bat. To gas me, baby. Give me spirit hearts. It's fine, young cannibals. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Also, it's a bad habit to overtly lampshade, I think, every single reference we make on the show. We gotta save something for the historians when they come back through these episodes through the Library of Congress. Hopefully, which is not, you know, oh, that was close. Like a Statue of Liberty, Planet of the Apes sort of, you blew it up sort of situation, you know? You see the original Planet of the Apes, so I did it again! What I was gonna say is, you know, DAE 96. I apologize if you're born in 1996, because you are an adult. And you've been an adult for a while. You're 22 years old. Or you're going to be 22 years old this year, at least. You will never be 22 to me. You'll pretty much always be like 15. And I don't mean that to be dismissive and diminutive. I'm not trying to call you a kid. It's mostly something's wrong with my own brain. I think this happens... I was thinking about it the other day. Because, like, I have this, like, if I had better art skills or drive or motivation, or I actually believed that this could be a worthwhile thing to produce, I had an idea for, like, an XKCD-style webcomic, and it was, like, the compression of ages as you get older. Here's my central hypothesis for it, because we got an XL floor here. When you're 6, 5-year-olds are babies and 7-year-olds are elderly. You know? Like, the gap between... The group of people who are exactly your peers is extremely narrow. When you're 13, you know, people that are 14 or 15 are in your kind of peer group, and people that are 12 are babies. You get the idea? I can't speak for how it changes after this, but, you know, I'm 29, old enough to have to take at least, you know, a microsecond to remember my age. And as far as I'm concerned, I have friends who are, you know, in their early 20s, and I have friends who are in their mid-30s, maybe starting to approach their late 30s, and I get along well with each of them. It's not, we don't even talk about different things, like, we're all kind of in the same peer group. I gotta imagine, like, my parents are in their 50s, they have friends who are, like, closing in on 70, and then they got friends who are in their early 30s, you know, like, it just, the older you get, I think the more broad your peer group becomes. And that's kind of where I was gonna go with this, is like, I was thinking about it when I was in college. It was like, if you were in second year of college, you were old. Not old in like a, I don't know, it's not even a bad way at all, but like, certainly not in like the way that you're like nearing the end of your life due to old age or something like that. But you were like, man, you're in second year? Oh my god, you're like, you're experienced. You've been around the block here at the university. Then when I was in fourth year, I was like, if you're in first year, you're a child. You're a fresh-faced young, you might as well just still be in high school. We definitely would prefer Little Loki to Thunder Thighs. The pause button just shows up every time now. So let's take Little Loki by process of elimination. Even if we do have a battery charge, we're going to want to use it probably on a deal with the devil, and then if we get a good deal with the devil, we'd use it on pause button instead. But because I was thinking, I was like, I'm 29, I'm in my 20s, but if I met, and this is not meant to be negative, you could be 10 times smarter than me and be 21 years old. But if I met a 21-year-old, we're just, in all likelihood, we're worried about different things in our lives at this point. You know, when I was 21, 21-year-old me and 29-year-old me probably would get along decently, but you gotta keep in mind, it's the same person. Like, if you don't like yourself, you gotta start working from there, I suppose. Please don't be bad trip. Hey. It's not good, but it's not bad trip. I feel like definitely you know, at 29, I definitely relate more to like the average 35-year-old than the average 23-year-old. That might vary person to person. I definitely know, definitely have friends of mine. Probably I have friends of mine, yeah, and you know people like this, and you might even be people like this. You might even be a person like this. I knew, when I was in college, I knew 20-year-olds who probably got along better with 50-year-olds than they did with other 20-year-olds, you know? It's all about, we already took brims, so we're going to re-roll both of these. Ooh, don't mind if I do. It's all about settling into that age group where you're like at your most comfortable, you know? I think I'm relatively lucky. I think the age group in which I'm most comfortable is probably going to end up being, you know, in my 30s or 40s. I'm a relatively mature individual. My ideal style of humor is a dad joke. I work in a job, at least right now, that has no manual labor associated with it whatsoever. So I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, the 20s, that's supposed to be that's when you buy. Don't sell until I hit like 43. We're still coming up. I got friends, you know, they peaked at like 17. Nothing wrong with it. They had a much better 17 than I did. But I just hope they can get it together, you know, before we hit the later double digits, or the mid double digits at least. Oh, come on, you gotta, well, you know, with 1.3, I'll tell you what, we'll activate empty vessel. And, okay, we've already experienced all that, so we'll just leave. I really do, I believe in the broad peer group hypothesis, though. When you're 13, at least I went to a pretty small high school, so maybe it was like a little different for me. I don't know why that would be the case, but I'm just throwing out possible. You know, whenever you do like a scientific study, in your conclusion, you always got to throw out like reasons that you might have seen the results that you did, right? So plausibly, I don't know, maybe my upbringing was atypical. I'm not going to say unique, but not necessarily the norm. I don't know, maybe it was normal as heck. Right? When I was a kid, when you were 13, you didn't hang out with a 15-year-old. You're like, something's gone wrong. Either for the 15-year-old or for you. Maybe nowadays kids are more open-minded, I don't know. Like, I remember I went to a birthday party. I was 10, I think. I went to a birthday party for an 11-year-old, and my mom took me aside and she was like, just so you know, if any of these kids offer you a cigarette, say no to them. And I was like, yeah, you got it. There was literally, like, I know that there are still people, obviously my age and younger, who smoke, but there was no danger. I was a good kid. Like, you know, we went to school in an era where it was like, you know, in health class, even in like 3rd grade, they would be like, never smoke. And I was just like, the teacher told me to never smoke, so I'm definitely never gonna smoke. No problem. Easiest money ever made. Is that it worked at a young age. Hey, excuse me, please. Oh, you are an idiot. To be fair, our damage is bad. But that's not a good excuse for taking this dumb damage here. Yeah, I feel like, you know, when you're 50, people in their 60s are your peers. People in their mid-30s are your peers. I think we're kind of there. That's weird to think about, though. You know, like if you're 14 right now and you're watching this and we're hanging out, that would be very strange. But if you wait like 30 years, we'll be at that beautiful kind of intersection of both having roughly, not the same obviously, because the older person should probably have more life experience, but you know, you'd be at a comparable level of life experience where you can have relatable conversations about, you know, shared mutual values and stuff like that. I believe that. We've already been to our deal with the devil, but we would like to go again and re-roll it. Now, that was the worst possible timing for that. I really thought he was going to stay low for like a minute there because I wanted to get black powder to work, which is sadly, for the time being, by far our best means of dealing damage. That worked well. We did get it. Oh my god. So we got a damage dealer to begin with, and then if it was anything even mildly better than Sister Maggie, I'd be tempted, but for Sister Maggie, I don't even get out of bed for Sister Maggie these days, man. Nope. We'll quickly check this just because why not, you know? Yera? Okay. Can live with it. Because of 9 lives, this run is not really in danger. It is underpowered right now, but to describe it as being in danger would be a little incorrect. Yeah, I just think it's interesting, you know, like the older you get, the more broad your kind of social group can become. I was also thinking about it because I was like, when you're a kid, you know everybody's age. It's like common knowledge because all your classmates, probably like if you have a class of 20 kids, 19 of them were born in the same year, and then you got one weirdo with like a January birthday, and you're like, I don't know, well, my mom wanted me to go to school a year early, so they put me in this pro. You're like, yeah, whatever. January of 1989 birthdays. You think you're hot shit? Shouldn't say the S word in these videos, but kids, if you're watching, if your parents have been tricked into thinking this is a family-friendly channel, first off, thank you, mom or dad, or both, but probably dad based on the demographic statistics. But don't say that word, that's a bad word. But Northernlion, why do we ascribe words greater power than they should have just based on the fact that we've decided that this one sounds unpleasant? Look! Shut up! Because I said so, okay? Because I said so. I don't have a good answer for you. When I was younger, I'd say the same thing, and I could get away with saying it. But now, I kind of am the system, and I haven't done anything to change it. So even though I don't agree with the system, I'm complicit in letting it exist. Is that what you wanted to hear? That I've sacrificed my idealism for comfort? That's what you wanted me to admit here? Live in The Binding of Isaac, episode 604? Gunpowder? Probably wouldn't call it gunpowder. It's like, it's not meant as a pun. It's kind of like an incendiary title. I don't want to get the same kind of backlash I did when I called that one episode Malf and everyone accused me of clickbait. Not everybody. A small percentage of people accuse me of clickbait. You're trying to get people to watch your videos, aren't you? Anyway, just disregard this. Forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so you know everybody's age. Like when I was, not only did you know everybody's age, but you know, depending on the kind of environment you were in, you have like, you know, hey, it's Dave's birthday today, happy birthday, Dave, and you get that for like 12 years, and you go, okay, I know. Like I still remember some of my friends' birthdays and phone numbers, weirdly enough, because I, you know, grew up in that pre-cell phone era. You look up your friend's phone number in the phone book or just remember it. I'm not going to give them out here because they still might live in the town, but let's go to the shop real quick. We got a good situation, but we got to make it work for us. You know, we got the tools, but we got to build the spice rack ourselves. This is what we want. This is what we want. 5 extra cents, please. Lovely. Sun card. Not really useful right now. I think we will take this as well, and then we'll go to our item room. But yeah, I can't remember, you know, oh, how do you get an entity framework to work properly? Oh my god. In Visual Studio 2017. The answer is you gotta go to the Nougat packages and then search entity framework on 6.4, but you get the idea. It's irrelevant for the purposes of this joke. I just wanted to prove that I could do it because I have a chip on my shoulder about it. But I can be like, oh yeah, Dave's birthday, August 3rd. What year? Are you stupid? 1988, the same year as everybody in this class, except for Nicole, the January 1989 birthday. Think she's better than us. Please give me a deal with the devil. I forgot we lost Empty Vessel. Then you get older, like I was thinking when I used to work in an office, like I didn't know anybody's age. You would just get there and you would like decide on an age when you met somebody. You'd be like, oh, they're roughly in their 40s. They're maybe the same age as me, I don't know. And you just kind of live with this obfuscated information like it's some kind of German board game. We have to take it, more or less. Not that it shouldn't be public knowledge necessarily. You're not entitled to know everybody's birthday just because, you know, you want to. Everybody's birth year just because you want to. I think. Who are you, the government? Stop! I still have not amazing damage. I would like for you to be less annoying, please. We need flying, and this is like as close to I get to using like galaxy brain strats in Isaac. We need flying because our damage sucks, so we need to use black powder, but it's not safe to use black powder in a lot of these situations terrestrially. We need to approach it from an aviation standpoint. Like, that's lovely, but it's not gonna be necessarily super repeatable. You're wondering, when do the ages really broaden? I think it's whenever you leave a scholastic environment. Like, for me, it was definitely like I left college, and it was kind of a different experience, I guess, than some people, because as soon as I left college, I went overseas to work, and it was like, I'm gonna be friends with the 6 other people I work with that actually speak my language by default. So, you know, I was 22, and I was hanging out with, you know, other 22 to, like, 40-year-olds that happen to be in the same situation as me. But I think it's like once you have socialization stopped being mostly between people that are roughly your age and yourself, it's when it opens up. You know, if you leave high school and then you don't pursue any kind of education after that, it probably opens up 17, 18, 19. You leave college after a bachelor's degree, probably your early 20s, you know, and then you say, oh, man, this is not going well. You know, if you go to college for 20 years like a doctor or Chris Farley and Tommy Boy, then it opens up, you know, roughly like 6 months before you enter a senior's home. Somewhere in that vicinity. Key, please? Key? Key? No key. No, I'd like to unlock you, but there is no key. I gotta back it up. Wow. So, I mean, there's no real danger. I would like to lose less lives here. Luckily, these guys don't move around. Oh my god! Every single one of them just ices you in one shot, huh? I know we have 1 HP, but like, I would have thought you would be a little bit less annoying. Okay, well, we get to take both items. Neither of these are amazing, even though one is a rate of fire increase. I think, and Lard is tempting, but we don't want to use it until we've gotten, well, our speed is fine, but we don't want to use it until we're sure that this is the life we're going to stick with. We do want HP, and we are going to probably have to compromise and take some, even though normally I'm like, if you take HP, you're just a baddie. But with 2 item rooms, I think you really do look at it and you go like, or 2 items in an item room, you really do look at it and go like, we got a genuine chance at a completely transformative room here. We might as well shoot for the stars, you know? Like, you only need 1 amazing item has a such more, like, profound impact on your run than 2 decent items most of the time, that I think you have to look at this and go, like, let's try. So I'll tell you what, I will use Crooked Penny, and I have ruined my run. But it was a completely apt situation to ruin our run in, if I may be so blunt. We wanted something transformative. This is a transformative item. And it's got Zane coming out the wazoo, whatever that means. So, I'm just trying, in my head, I'm like, am I gonna go the extra mile here? Am I gonna... Wow. This is bad. Am I gonna, look at this run and go, you know what? Let's try to use Crooked Penny, which is actually Dad's Omega Penny, on the lard pickup. Our speed would get pretty horrendous. Oh, you're a good boy. Don't try to hide it. Diamonds on the soles of your shoes. Wow, that's just horrible. Well, actually, I'm stupid. It's not bad. And I just realized, I think I didn't take this last time. We got it on the chest, but I didn't take it because I was like, oh, it's one of those bean items, but it's the passive bean. Navy beans, meatloaf sandwich. I have a bold proclamation here. I think we should rename meatloaf. The phrase meatloaf, it's too tainted. You know, you think about the expression, or the like, food item. Chicken cordon bleu. That's chicken, ham. Well, I always forget which. One of them is chicken and cheese and spinach. One of them is chicken and cheese and ham. I think cordon bleu is cheese and ham. Watch this. Genius level. So we have 5 HP. Please, God, pick up the red heart so you don't lose this life. You have the potential to make this run work in a, like, train wrecky sort of way here. It's a very kind of like hoity-toity name, wouldn't you suggest? For something that in the end just ends up being chicken, cheese, and ham, chicken cordon bleu. The meat, spices, breadcrumbs, meatloaf. It's what's in it plus its shape. I don't respect that. We need a fake, you know, like a Haagen-Dazs is an American company, but they use like a European sounding name for their ice cream to make it sound more legit. We need that, but for meatloaf. No longer, oh, you'd be like, oh, meatloaf. I forgot, that's what you Americans call, give me a second here. Beef Pyrenees. That's right, beef Pyrenees. What's beef Pyrenees? Oh, it's kind of like meatloaf, but a little bit more. It's the European classical meatloaf. Ooh, the people that eat it. I never really liked meatloaf before, but I gotta be honest, beef Pyrenees has really brought me back. I'm telling you, it's a genius idea. If you work at a diner right now, your meatloaf's not selling, just call it beef Pyrenees. You know, meatball soup, they don't call it meatball soup, they call it Italian wedding soup. You know why? Because they're as smart as I am. They had the same realization at some point back in the early 1900s. They said, nobody's gonna buy a meatball soup. Sounds boring. What if we conjure an image of an Italian wedding instead? It's called Marketing 101. Read a book sometime, sheep. So this is the fastest a run has ever gone from like decent to horrible. And it is horrible. Even though you're looking at it, you're going, hey, you got a couple damage upgrades. What are you sweating about? It sucks. We got 9 lives, which is an awesome enabler. Like, it gives us a lot of patience. We just got to deal with the devil we did not deserve, so life is amazing. Even if it's Krampus, this is still good. We really, really want lump of coal. But this run is very bad. We've had 2 damage upgrades. No rate of fire increases. Our HP is looking good, but on the womb that doesn't mean as much. Why do we have... Oh, because it was an XL floor. We have a 67% deal with the devil chance. Gotcha. Ooh, don't get hit there. A lot of foods like that. I always think it's not funny. It's just weird that some foods are named by scientists and some foods are named by artists. Not that you can't be both, you know? Meatball soup with a little bit of, you know, kale and, you are a moron. Meatball soup with a little bit of kale, Italian wedding soup. Soup made out of tomatoes, tomato soup. You know what food nomenclature gets me? I don't like cream-based soups, but I think about 20% of that dislike comes from the name. The other 80% comes from the fact that if you let them sit for 2 minutes, they get a weird, like, film on top of them. It's cream of... Because I know that, as an adult, I know cream of mushroom is... And I say I know, but really I'm asking for clarification. That's just a cream-based soup with mushrooms in it, right? It's not like they got cream out of a mushroom. They made mushroom cream. Probably by talking dirty. It goes all the way. It looked like it was gonna peter out. We're probably gonna lose our lard. Like Len got their sunshine stolen. It's always be like, hey, what kind of soup do you want? It's a vegetable soup. Sounds like it came straight from the earth. Or cream of mushroom. It sounds like some kind of NASA food. I'll take the one that sounds like a human method of sustenance, please. Give me the vegetable soup. Thank you. I'm not... If I had to choose, I think I would rather have food named by artists than scientists, as long as there's a description below it on the menu, you know? Because, like, the concept... I don't want every... Roasted chicken in a balsamic reduction. Wait, actually, that sounds delicious. Maybe I take it back, scientists. I don't want chicken Picasso. I want to know. Have you ever seen the rain? I'll have a chicken Monet, please. Chicken in a diamond sauce. Chicken in the name of da-da-da-da. Okay. This is getting ridiculous. This run is horrendous, dude. If I had to bet on a win or a loss, I don't want to sound negative. I think I might be starting to go for the loss here. Not like I'm not rooting for it, but I think I might be starting to see that a loss is maybe more likely than a win at this point. Especially with only 1 HP right now. Like, well, 1 full HP. I'm really looking at this room and going, like, maybe I need to use strength. Again, we have conflicting strengths right now. Like, we're not really a powerful shooter. What a terrible way to describe that phenomenon. We're not really... Our shots are not that powerful. Please actually hit this guy. Oh my god. Thank god for that strength card at least, but our shots are not that powerful. So we want to use black powder, but we can't use black powder because our mobility is not that good. Our speed is fine, but our mobility is compromised by the fact that we can't actually get Empty Vessel to work for us because the ability to fly requires little HP, but we can't really make little HP work on this run because, I mean, we have to now, but we can't really make little HP work on this run because of the fact that we just have no damage. You know, we can't, it's not really a glass cannon run, it's more like a glass, you know, like Nerf gun. It's a glass super soaker. I think the moment of truth for this run, if it ends up being a loss, the moment of truth for this run was way earlier. It's not right now. Right now, we're dealing with the repercussions of playing a little sloppily earlier in the run. But if there's any... Don't get close to this guy, you idiot. If there's any item that could pull you out of a little bit of a scary situation, you gotta say, it's probably Crooked Penny. The ability to... I mean, with Yera as well, maybe. The ability to double, potentially, output is super nice. I don't even think we take it yet, but... we're going to take it. We might try to double it. I just want to see what Mama Gertie gives us first. Like, the thing is, I'd prefer to just kill Mama Gertie. If we can't kill Mama Gertie on 1 HP, which thankfully did work out, That, I don't feel bad about that one at all. And I'm just leveling with you. The reason I don't feel bad about that one at all is because it sucks. That's a bad item. For us, it doesn't do enough for us in our present situation. And by potentially doubling it, at least we could have had 2 chances to get good cards. Losing out on shot speed in 1 card means very little to me, I think. Wow. We got telefragged. That is a sincere bummer, because we really were kind of banking on a deal with the devil working out for us here. And by banking, I mean like hoping against hope that our dream came true. We should really try something along these lines right here. You know, little tool clubs. It's 2 bombs at least, which allows us, if we get an early tinted rock, pull ourselves back from that brink. Consider using Yera to double a Spirit Heart. Might give you enough juice to stay up here. We gotta talk about Isaac, because this is like a very, very delicate run. You gotta try. And it did give us enough HP to survive, so I'm not upset. There is another booster pack coming to Isaac, by the way. I'm not being paid or encouraged to say that. They don't talk to me at all. Ed talks to us sometimes when he's on Roundtable. But yeah, Nicholas, it's not like we're in constant communication. I haven't talked to anyone at Nicholas in like 2 years, probably. A couple packs ago, I was like real amped about mod support. I think they had been given... I can't say this for certain, and I'm not trying to like make things real here, but I think they might think that we have, I don't want to say an adversarial relationship, but they might think it's kind of like, you know, like a Goku and Vegeta sort of thing, where it's like, we like and respect each other, but we kind of have this playful sparring going on, and I'm like, nah, I just like the game, really, like, I don't necessarily subscribe to, oh, we're not going to double it just because it doesn't, half a Spirit Heart doubled is not worth a Yera rune, I think. We're not gonna, in all likelihood, get to deal with the devil anyway. A couple packs ago, I was stoked. I wanted to, you know, learn more about the modding support. And they were giving me crickets. Wow, you just gave it away, the HP there. They were giving me crickets when I was asking questions, and I was like, did Tyrone tell you not to tell me anything? And the dude was like, yeah, basically. I get it, it's like you're, and it sounds like I'm being negative about it, I'm not. And I mean that sincerely, you're trying to keep like a sense of mystique about the game, but I was like, really, I just want to know, how do you sideload the Lua modules into the memory? Like, is it a lazy load, or is, like, I was asking like nerd questions. I wasn't like, is there a tiers upgrade that works on a percentage basis instead of, you know, I was like, how do you guys do the mods in this game? This is cool. I was getting crickets. I'm press. Sort of. Why are you running? Anyway. So yeah, I'm not being incentivized to say anything like that, but I am stoked that there's another booster pack coming out. You know, if you've been watching these videos lately, what do I want from a booster pack? I think we've actually reached the point in Isaac in which I do not care, or at least I care the least about there being new content. I think this might be a mildly controversial this might be a mildly controversial statement. I think between all the recent booster packs, mods being added, stuff like that, we've actually hit a point in which more content that is not super curated with a very like discerning eye is probably worse for the future of Isaac than better for the future of Isaac. And I understand that they might feel betrayed by that sentiment to some extent. Because the idea, whenever people talked about Isaac, they'd be like, 600 billion combinations of items. And you get the idea that that's like what draws the enjoyment out of the game, is that there's so much variety. And it did work like that up to a point. What's happened, and this is just my own personal opinion, and I still love the game, and I still, this will be true forever. So, you know, you don't have to imagine a conspiracy here, but like, I will love playing this game, or be able to tolerate it at least, probably until the end of my natural lifespan. But the variety was good. It was great even, until we sort of got to a point in which there were so many items that it became unvaried, because there were really only, in the end, two item categories: items you wanted and items you didn't. And there have been a lot, especially since the booster pack started. Like, these were not really like first party in-dev items, but there's been a lot of items that are like, this item does something funny, isn't that weird? And you're like, sure, but like, it doesn't actually add that much. Actually, the most recent booster pack added some cool items, even if I don't think they're that good. Like Hemolacria, I don't think it's good at all, but it's fun. And, you know, like the eyeball tears that bounce into each other, I don't think it's great, but it's fun. But there's a lot of like, you know, like Party Hat is an item I just don't get. There's a lot of those, though. Pills are worse, I'll admit, but I'm not saying we need more, like, there's gotta be a better Brimstone, because I think you run into, like, power creep in that level as well, which is not that fun. But I think, like, if you were gonna make a director's cut of Isaac, you would probably actually benefit from cutting some stuff from the game instead of adding some stuff from the game. This is not me trying to invalidate whatever's coming in the new expansion pack, which I hope is amazing. I mean that 100% sincerely. We're, as much as we're not in cahoots with each other, we have a symbiotic relationship, right? Like, wow, incredible. The better Isaac does, the better I tend to do, and vice versa. So, you know, of course, I spend like a lot of my week playing this game, a decent chunk at least. So, like, the better it is, the happier I am. But if like there was a Northernlion cut of The Binding of Isaac, oh man. I guess I could actually do it with mods, but then that would require me to put my money where my mouth is. And I'm also like, ooh, I'm busy. But like, really? I am? And I like the base game a lot, as is. But, dude, I would cut all of the meme pills. Toot sweet. No more. That's fine. We're still alive. And actually, Yera, at this point, we've saved it for so long, I think we should use it on the chest. If we didn't have the magnet, I would have waited and used Omega Penny to pick up, hopefully, 2 Spirit Hearts instead of 1. But, anyway, we're talking about something else right now. I would cut all of the meme pills in a heartbeat. I don't think you cut all of the meme items, but I think you gotta, like, there are some items where I genuinely think you could just cut them from the game and the game wouldn't suffer at all. Like, if Isaac had 10,000 items, is it necessarily, by definition, better than Isaac having 500 items? Is it better than Isaac having 200 items? I think there's a sweet spot somewhere, which is, you know, when all of the items have unique character, except for, I think the one exception to that is attributes, where you're gonna need, you know, X percentage of items are gonna have to be a speed or a tears or a damage upgrade in one way or the other. Otherwise, like, it's not balanced around not having that kind of fuel in the game. But every item having, like, a reason to pick it up, even the bad ones. And that's what it gets me. Like, Party Hat, unless I'm missing something, is just a good example of, like, haha, it's not really it has a secondary benefit, but I don't even remember what it is. Maybe Party Hat's not what I should be beating the drum for, but the meme pills, that would be my director's cut, is like the same game, but all the meme pills are gone. I know I beat this drum way too frequently, but like, do we really need, even puberty was useless until recently. Now it has like a weird purpose that's okay, but like shoehorned in. But like, it does nothing. And then X-Lax, and, you know, what was that? And is this thing on? See, you're thinking, I don't remember those pills. That's because I made them up, but it sounds plausible, doesn't it? Retrovision, literally, like, who cares? Stuff like that. Just stuff that is like, it's funny. If something is funny once and then after that point takes away from the enjoyment to some extent, that's where my design philosophy comes in. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's where I differ from some of the design decisions involved in this game as it's gotten further. Again, I also want to beat the same drum for the 5 millionth time of mod support being awesome for creators and good for players, but in the end, where things become annoying sometimes is that nobody's out... Jesus Christ. Nobody's out there making boring mods, which is understandable, but at the same time, you're like, somebody's got to be making speed upgrades. Otherwise, you end up with no speed upgrades. I'm dead. And that sucks, you know? Great, just a good move there. That's a dead end. Also, why are you beating your head against that room 100 times? Let me out. Okay, so this is the danger zone now. And this run is no longer that bad. So to die here would be a mild... It would mildly perturb me. Yep, okay. It was just probably the worst damage I've ever taken. Turns out I don't know what's happening in this game at all. So don't take my feedback seriously. Just a terrible capitulation there. A lot of preventable damage. Was the run great? No, but it didn't have to be that bad. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. I'll set a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.